Mm. What's going on, guys? Welcome to an early edition of Quick Dip. We had to change things up a little bit this week. To my left, we got Get Jacked 141. Oh, screen's just switched up. Above me is my co-host, my co-creator, dare I say, my friend, the one, the only, the light drizzle. Fellas, holla at the people for me.
Hey, folks, how are you? We're a day early because we have some important news. That's why.
That's right. There it is. There it is. Thank you for that save, Jack. I appreciate that.
And Ty's working on his term paper. Nice.
Yeah.
He's working. We've been having technical issues, folks. We're brand new to this. But luckily, we want to thank those of you who still tune in and still watch. We want you to engage with us. I think we have Caden here. Caden's saying, yo, yo. I think I have one or two of my friends who are going to be joining us soon. And we have the chat open at the bottom. So we will be talking to you. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, we're here for you, right?
That's right. Good.
Yeah,
well said,
sorry
Jack.
about
Well
this.
said. That's all right, dude. Make it look pretty.
So I just upgraded our StreamYard and they got rid of everything. So that's my problem right now.
Geez.
StreamYard made me upload everything, all the videos, everything. Because I went up to the $49 a month one for a month to see how it was. But I went into the account and everything's gone. None of my videos are there.
Imagine that.
None of my backgrounds are there. Nothing. And like, so when I take the green screen off, right? When I don't have a green screen, when I don't have a background, right? Nothing's wrong. No lag, nothing. But when I put the green screen on, all I have is issues. So this is why I was trying out OBS, because I'm getting frustrated with this.
StreamYard needs to step their game up.
They do. They need to step their game up, because I shouldn't be having these problems. If you have a green screen function, and when I put a green screen up, all I do is lag. I take the green screen down, and I'm good, right? How is that? That's frustrating.
Yeah.
How is that worth $50 a month?
No, exactly. OBS is free, by the way.
Yeah. You know what? In cases like that, if you send them a complaint letter, they might offer you a partial refund of some kind. You know,
the power of the letter. I'm gonna write a letter to your boss, then I'm gonna write a letter to his boss, and I'm gonna write a letter to your grandmother, and I'm gonna get some results.
In fact, all three of us could write a letter.
Yeah, Caden, by the way. Yeah, Caden said he likes the countdown. I made that by myself. I cut together like 6 different countdowns, and I meshed them all together so that when, the first 20 seconds are one, then I spliced in another one, that it would be changing and it wouldn't be the same. But thank you guys for tuning in today. Sorry about the beginning. I feel like I'm saying that often lately. I will get my act together, I promise. But we're here because Zack Snyder. We're here because of HBO, and we're here because of here. What's the last one? We'll end the day with a little bit of politics because tomorrow is the inauguration. I know it's not pop culture, but it is a part of all of our lives. So yes. So let's get down and dirty, boys. Is the Snyder Cut a movie or a series?
Me. I'll take is a movie for 400. Alex,
do you have facts, Mister Sir?
Moi? I have a WikiHow article to source.
Wait, are you asking us if it's a movie? Do we think it's a movie or a show? Or you're asking us, do we think that's how HBOmax is going to do it?
Let me see what happens here. I'm asking you on what. So what are the facts, guys? Lay them on me. Let's talk about the facts. The facts. Everything that we can confirm or back up.
Okay. So essentially, everyone is sharing an image of a tweet from a third-party website. In that image, it's Vero, and Vero sometimes is a little bit harder to get in the comment section. Zach posted some image a couple of days ago, and someone asked him, according to this image, will this be the miniseries or a one-shot? Zach just writes one shot. Now, I think Ty also, we went to dig in because when we saw this, I wanted to verify it. The problem with Vero is you have like 5,000 comments you got to go through. But just like the Walter Hamada article, everyone is citing that one image from this website and reporting officially, oh, it's only going to be a 4-hour movie. They're not going to do the miniseries anymore. And that may very well be true, but we haven't found the exact evidence of that. I've gone back to that tweet, or it's on Vero, whatever they call it on Vero, that post, and trying to scroll through the comments and find that exact comment. But it seems like a strange thing to reveal in a comment section rather than...
And this is the issue. Right? So what did we say when all the Keaton stuff was happening? That Keaton was replacing Ben? What did we say, right? Wait until it comes either in an official press release from HBOmax, from Warner Max, from Warner Brothers, or from Zach, right? A comment that doesn't count as official news, right? So we can all have our opinions still. I know a lot of YouTubers, a lot of DC, strictly DC YouTubers are saying right now that they do think that's a movie. They're not saying it's confirmed though. And that's where everyone's, that's the word that can go either way, right? Yeah. It can take us this way or it can take us that way. Just the word confirmed, right? If you use that word, the whole thing changes. Exactly. Now it's official. Now it's real, right? But
and even if that comment is real, we don't have the context. The poster might have been meant like, are you working on the movie right now, the one shot? Because chances are Zach is going to do the whole movie first, and then he's going to split it up if it's a TV show. That's what Zach would have meant. We're like, hey, right now at the moment, I'm working on the movie, the one-shot movie, which we know is eventually going to come out.
Right.
But we don't know the context. And for every single YouTuber, even the ones that I like are all like, oh, it's definitely confirmed. I'm like, is it though?
I think
it's
just
not. It's not.
Skittle just fell out of my mouth. Hopefully that the camera caught that. I think just from like a viewer, producer, from HBO's point of view of releasing this and trying to sell it to as many people as possible and make this successful and worthwhile, I think throwing a 4-hour movie at a general audience member who doesn't necessarily give a shit about DC or the Justice League in general, and they're just viewing a movie, I think throwing 4 hours at them is going to be a huge turnoff. And I think a lot of them will just be like, nah, it's not even worth it. I don't really care about DC. Why would I sit around and watch a 4-hour movie? You know what I'm saying?
So exactly. And I agree with you because the Snyder fans will watch it. We'll watch it. But if you're someone who's casual, a 1-hour episode might be a good way to get into it and let it spread. Let word of mouth spread that, hey, I don't like Zack Snyder's movies, but you know what? That first hour wasn't cool. I want to tune in next week. You know, it gives. I think it's better for it to be split up as a show. Even though I'm selfish and would like a movie, I think it'd be kind of cool to absorb it in pieces and help it spread the word. Let it go on Twitter. Because once it's out, right? It will be on. It'll be, trending on Twitter for maybe a day or two. But if it's 4 episodes spread over a month,
did you just say the Snyder Cut will only trend for a day or two? Come on.
I'm saying in terms of popularity, because then all of a sudden you got the what's it called, Kong versus Godzilla. Yes, us Snyder fans are going to celebrate it, but the idea is that I think non-Snyder fans need a chance to watch this, and I think what Drip is saying, if they see it's a 4-hour movie, they're like, it's too long, I'm not going to watch it.
Exactly.
But if you watch one episode, it's an episode, it's a show. This is different from what I saw in the theaters.
This is like a big, different kind of move from them. So I'm assuming the aim is we want this to be as successful as possible. So they're going to take the steps to do that. So they're going to try to get people who don't necessarily care about DC and people who aren't necessarily a fan of Zack Snyder in general to try to watch this, and throwing 4 hours and some change at them, I don't think is a smart move. I think what Jack just said is a perfect idea. You release it an hour at a time, once a week for that 4 weeks. And in between that time, now word of mouth gets to spread, and hey, that was pretty good. And God forbid, if I like it, God forbid, now you're really doing something, because I'm running around like, hey, listen, that was pretty good. And if I'm telling you, it must be good, because I hate Zack Snyder. So if I'm you see what I'm saying? And that seems like the best track to take, if you ask me.
Exactly. And even if the first episode is okay by someone's standards, they'll be like, okay, that was all right, but I want to see what happens next. The story's just starting. I know there's going to be action coming soon. We don't know how the movie's split up, but I hope that HBO or maybe Warner Brothers isn't underselling this because they're afraid it might be too popular. I've heard some YouTubers saying that maybe they were like, hey, let's just make the Snyder Cut one and done. But now fans are expecting the Snyderverse to be restored. Oh, crap, then we should undersell it. And I would not put that beneath the higher ups.
Yeah,
point.
Like listen,
it's a fair point.
All right. So, have you ever Quentin Tarantino's movies? I know Jack has, but everyone here has seen them, right? So, a common thing that Quentin does is he has title chapters, right? So it chapters itself, where it will say, I'm trying to think of
like the Bonnie situation, but it'll be like Watch, Inglourious Bastards,
right?
Like,
yep, it'll have a title screen, and that will let you know that the story is shifting narratives or shifting angles or shifting scenery, whatever, right? So if you do make a 4-hour movie, say it is a 4-hour movie, right? But in that 4-hour movie, he splits it up as a you could watch it 1 hour a piece, right? So every hour a new title screen comes up and it says blah blah blah, a history lesson. Now we know, okay, this hour, this narrative right here is done. Now we're gonna shift to the history lesson, and we're gonna get when Darkseid comes down and tries to get the mother boxes that first time, right? So we know this hour is grouped together, and then this next hour is going to be grouped together, right? If they can explain that some way and say, listen, we couldn't do it. We couldn't get enough to do 4 weeks in a row. So we're going to give it to you all at once, but we're going to chapter it out just like a YouTube video where you personally, it'll be up to you to stop it or keep going, whatever you want. I think that's smart. I wouldn't mind that, right? So, you have it all at once.
Well,
or you could stop and chapter up.
Yeah. It depends on how this is laid out, right? Like, for example, a television show that does.
I know, right? Just a second.
It's funny.
They
did that with the Hateful Eight.
But it was weird.
But they did that with the Hateful Eight, I think.
I had.
Yeah, that's. But it was weird. So right? The Hateful Eight. There's an extended version of it.
Can I do it again?
No, it just happened the once. So the Hateful Eight is a long movie.
Right.
There's an even extended version. So what they did on Netflix, they split it up into parts, like literal episodes. So if you want to watch the Hateful Eight but don't want to sit down for 3.5 hours, you can watch it in pieces.
Right, and it's up to you to do that. That's what I think. So, if anything, I think that's how it will be, right? And everyone. So, Chris Wong, aka Ping Pong Flicks, he did this funny little bit. Did you see the bit?
Yeah.
Did you see the bit? Oh my god, it was priceless. All right, I'm gonna have to remove the overlay because he's not here. One second. Just because we look like idiots right now.
Even if this is possible, okay, so let's say they want to release it all in one day and they split it up the movie, like with the title card. So for people who've seen Pulp Fiction, it'll first say, I don't know, the briefcase. Then it will say the Bonnie situation. Then it will say the gold watch. So you have these little, Mrs. Wallace, I think, is one of them. That way you kind of are able to follow the story in like pieces. I wouldn't be against them. Okay, release it in 4 parts at once. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. Because, that way, okay, or you can have an option to watch it all at once. I mean, what is that going to cost HBOmax? Just have a thing. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, or play whole movie. If you're going to do it that way. So that people can watch it in pieces, or they can watch the whole thing.
Exactly. That's my point. That is exactly my point. And it's up to you to decide what you want to do, right? If you want to chapter it out for yourself, get the most out of the viewing experience, right? Maybe take a little break, maybe a half a day in between chapters, right? I would actually like that.
Yeah.
I would like it because then I could decide, all right, I get 3 chapters in, right? Mm-hmm. And that 4th chapter we know is going to be like me and you know, he might not, but me and you know that chapter, that 4th chapter is going to be something like we've never seen before, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, maybe I don't want to watch it now. Maybe I want to watch it when I get to it.
Exactly. And we've been kind of spoiled by binge watching stuff, and I've kind of missed the idea of. Hopefully, you guys can still hear us. We've been kind of spoiled with watching. I'll be honest with you. There are so many shows I've binged watched, and then when the next season comes out, I kind of forgot what happened because I watched it in a day. I kind of missed to some degree watching something, then thinking about it for a week, letting it absorb into your mind, and then the next week you watch the same thing. So I'm not against. I would prefer they still do a 1 month thing and split it up. But if they do it at once, put it in parts. So that people can then talk about it. We could do an episode on part 1, then an episode on part 2, episode on part 3, episode on part 4.
I can tell you right now, as an actual DC fan who likes DC's content. Yeah. But I don't care about Zack Snyder at all. If it wasn't for this, what we got going on here at the Pop Culture Corner, I wouldn't watch it if it was 4 hours. If they released it as 1, I wouldn't even bother. I'm good. That's way too much of my time going to something I'm almost damn sure I'm not going to want to watch to begin with, right? So why would I put and that's leading me back to what I was trying to say before I got cut out, is that if it's broken down in the way a show is, you can do that chapter thing. Like, for example, I'm going to use the same kind of example you was using. If you was watching Reservoir Dogs and you stopped it each time a title card came up and then kept rewatching it after that, you go away for a couple hours or like a whole day, come back and start at that chapter, would you still know? Would you be able to pick up right there and then and still finish the story and understand it completely? I don't think so. So if the Snyder Cut is laid out like a movie, which supposedly it is, then watching it with the chapter card thing isn't going to work so well.
Hey, Kevin. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, this is all based off an image of a tweet that someone put out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think down to your point, Trip, like someone like you who's maybe not a Snyder fan, if you see only 1 hour, you might be like, all right, let me just give it a shot. Oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay, I want to see where this is going. This is not the version I saw in theaters. Even the people who are like, oh, this is going to be the same thing. They're going to watch it. They're going to be like, oh, this is not the same thing. This is different. But,
only time will tell.
We'll see. but like I prefer they do what they had said they were going to do, which is 4 episodes, so that we can do what we had talked about. Was we take each episode when it airs, we do a pre-show, a post-show, we can talk about it. You can let it sit in your head, and chances are, at least me and Ty will probably rewatch it at some point during the week, so that we can pick up things that we might have missed. And I also heard, and I'm trying to. This might be unconfirmed, but apparently people have been reporting that Zach said it's 4 hours before credits.
Before credits. So 4 hours is the movie. Everything else, that's just desserts, right? So like, that's not included in the runtime of the film. No title cards. No post credit stuff. Just that start of the film to the end of the film is 4 hours. Everything else, that'll probably be another 15 minutes. So we're looking at 4 hours and 15, 4 hours and 20 minutes.
And again,
I agree, Kevin. I agree.
That's my man. Good shit, Kevin.
At least somebody Kevin, that's why we like Trip, because we don't want it to just be a love fest when we cover this. Like, who wants to see?
Oh, I don't like him. I like him.
I went back.
Like him. He's here.
So I went back and I got I didn't watch it by all means. You'll never catch me watch this again. But I went back and I watched a movie review about Sucker Punch, and I forgot about Sucker Punch, and seeing all their action scenes, it's so similar to BVS. It's nauseating. The scenes. Zach is in, the best way I could think of it is Zach is the best action director you'll ever find on this planet, right? People who hate him, his movies, are still sitting around watching the warehouse scene religiously just for shits and giggles because it's a great scene. But his narratives and his storytelling is bad. It's to put it simply and,
are you kidding me?
Respectfully, it's bad.
In Sucker Punch? In Sucker Punch specifically, or all around?
In general. So okay, wait. Let me finish.
No.
Let me finish because I got shit to back this up. 300 is like a Greek myth that he was practically written for him, and all it really is. Yeah, and all of it is. Well, it's also like an actual Greek myth.
Yeah, it actually happened.
So that was basically written for him, right? And then he had the comic book to pull out of. So all of narrative and all storytelling within that is already presented to him, right? Dawn of the Dead is just a basic zombie survival story that I promise any one of us could write. Zombie stories are not hard to tell at all. And those are arguably his 2 best movies. What's next? Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is the only one.
I think Watchmen is next, right?
Watchmen, but Watchmen's also somebody else's property. Sucker Punch is the only one that he actually wrote, and you know what I mean? He seems to be trying to do that same thing. It was a passion project. Yeah, and he seems to be trying to do the same thing with DC characters. They fall under that same category as somebody else's property, right? But he's trying to build a story by himself, just featuring these characters, right? And in his past movies, nothing tells me that he's capable of handling an extended universe.
Well,
I just don't understand.
And I kind of over the weekend I watched a couple of. I don't know if you guys are familiar with David Lynch. I watched a couple of his movies because he's a great director, but he likes to deal with the abstract. And Sucker Punch is a movie that kind of is an action version of abstract. It's about these girls trapped in a was it a mental asylum? They're not supposed to. And he uses these abstract ideas. He uses action sequences to kind of convey what's going on subconsciously in their mind. A couple of years ago, Drip, I would agree with you with BVS, but I think BVS has enough layers to it, and I think a lot of people don't watch it with that intent. They watch it like they're going to watch any other superhero movie. It's going to be A, B, C, D, and E. But there are layers to it. There are themes to it that you can break down and extrapolate and kind of ponder on. that I don't necessarily get from other superhero movies. So I see what you're saying, because I understand. Like, I'm not one of those people who like hates, who's like, oh, if you don't like Zack Snyder, you're an idiot. I get why people dislike his movies, and there was a time where I wasn't a big fan of his movies. But the more I've watched, the more I've watched it with a focus to pick out the themes, pick out the philosophies that are going on underneath the dialogue. I actually think that he's actually a really good auteur. He's actually a really smart director. And maybe a lot of people don't understand it because they're approaching it like they're going to watch Ant-Man 3 or, Spider-Man Far From Home, which are great movies, but those aren't movies you're going to sit and dissect. Yeah. You're not going to sit there and say, what is that Ant-Man, what's really going on here? What you see is what you get. With BVS, it's not a movie where it is what you see, what you get. There is other themes going on. And me and Ty talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but the concept of God among us, the concept of religion. The movie actually has a lot of things to say about that I wasn't looking for the first time I watched it, because I wanted a big, punch him up.
I definitely noticed all of that. I mean, it's abundantly clear, right? The whole Jesus comparison, it's abundantly obvious throughout BVS. It's just simply, one, it's repetitive. And two, I also went back and pondered on this entire thing, especially with Lex Luthor's whole plan throughout the movie. And the only conclusion I could come to that it's overcomplicated and it's repetitive and just not. It's very cartoonishly evil in the sense that it's just so convoluted and it takes you 3 weeks to. And this best example I could possibly think of. Honest Trailers went ahead and wrote down the whole plan in list form, and it was about 75 sentences.
Yeah. But I think, remember when Scorsese said that Marvel movies aren't cinema and people lost their minds? The idea of what he was talking about are movies that you watch and then you think about them. Like, there's so many movies I watched in film school that I didn't like, but when they explain stuff, I'm like, holy crap, let me go back and watch that again. Oh, okay. And all of a sudden, you're finding other things in it, not just the Jesus metaphors. There's more to it than just the Jesus metaphors that we went into.
Such as, I would love to hear it.
Well, I think the whole show deals with God in the postmodern world. If you really want me to get into it, I don't know if Ty, you want to do that or
I just want one example outside of the Jesus thing, because that seems like the reoccurring presentation I see.
Well, I'm saying
what are you looking for? Can you reiterate it?
I'm sorry.
What are you looking for? A reason, an example of what?
An example of something outside of the whole Jesus. What's the word I'm looking for? Comparison, metaphor. Yeah, there you go. Metaphor works.
Right, but are you saying? Are you asking?
Tell me. Give me one.
I don't understand that question.
Reason. Give me one reason BVS is an actual good. My whole point is Zack Snyder does not have the resume to be handling an extended universe. I'm not talking just as a one movie director. I'm talking about a guy who's handling an entire universe of cinematic releases. That's what I'm talking about. How does he have the track record for that?
Batman's arc, right? I can relate to Batman's in BVS. A man who hates God or a God. I'm not talking about Jesus. I'm just saying, right? So you have Batman. He's never met Superman, but he hates him because you look at him and you're looking up at him, right? Batman doesn't want to look up at anyone. Batman doesn't want to look like someone look at this guy who can do so much, yet wrecks a whole city, kills a bunch of people. So Batman's filled with rage, right? Batman's a little bit older. He's taking painkillers to numb the pain. He's going out. He's abusing his body every single night at 40-something years old. This dude should die now. But he is so motivated and so driven to do what's right or what he thinks is right. And then come to find out at the end of the film, right? So in the beginning, he's driven by the loss of his parents, protecting this city or at this point, protecting the world from Superman. We meet that Batman in the beginning. And by the end, when the Martha scene happens and he realizes there's humanity in Superman, right? Then things change. Batman lightens up a little bit, realizes he's human, or at least some form of human, and he's lived here all his life. He sees the humanity in Superman. That whole arc is genius, at least in my mind. I like seeing Batman go from this vengeful monster to a leader of a team. Right? So I don't see what you see.
Well, no. Okay, so for most of what you just said, we're on the same page. Because that opening scene, Bruce watching everything fall and crumble around him, it's 100% clear and understandable as to why Batman is feeling the way he's feeling. Everybody was on board. Everybody gets it. Two things. One, the Martha scene was just, it was just too silly. It was poorly performed. It was just silly looking. The delivery was not there. The message may have been there, but if the delivery does not match the message, nobody's going to get the message. No matter how many times you explain it to people and you go over it a million ways and you break it down to every decimal second that you possibly can, it's still going to be a silly scene at the end of the day, right? With Henry Cavill's shaky face and Crayola on his face. And two, the Superman hating Batman back was very, again, just kind of silly. I know I keep using the same adjectives here, but that's really the best way I can describe it. It was why Batman hates Superman makes 100% clear sense, and everybody gets it, and everybody was on board with it. Why Superman hated Batman back and all of a sudden is down for this death fight, like with the whole Batmobile scene, and Superman comes in and he's like, Batman's over, consider this your last night, blah, blah, blah. Why Superman hated him back made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
So that's why I always say you got to watch the Ultimate Edition. So again, I don't think Superman hates Batman. You have to watch it.
The Bat brand of justice is why he hated him.
He actually went and met with some of the victims of the Batman or relatives that they cut that out. So they cut this whole sequence out. And it shows Clark Kent as a journalist. He goes to Gotham to report on sports. He actually meets a couple of people. He meets a couple of tenants in a neighborhood and talks to them. And they're like, oh, Batman is back. And he is angry. Then he meets the victim of one of the people that got branded, who then subsequently got killed in jail. And again, that has to do with Lex's plan. Lex is killing the people that Batman had branded and then sends these photos to Superman like, oh, by the way, someone is killing. So, again, I don't think Superman hated Batman. He was just there to stop him. He'd be like, hey, because he only encounters him once. He's like, stop it. And that's all he does. He has no issue with fighting Superman or Batman until his mother is kidnapped. And when he initially goes there, he said, I'm here to ask for your help. And then they start fighting. To talk about some of the larger themes of the movie, I did want to do this in another quick dip. Or TY, we're going to do one with Caden and maybe Garza before the Snyder Cut comes out. But the idea of God in the postmodern world is a heavy theme in this movie. And just to give you an idea, I put it this way. Superman is God. Bruce Wayne is the agnostic. Lex Luthor is the atheist. If I could, not to paint the atheists or agnostics or like that, but within the context of this movie. We also talked about the idea of abuse. We always ask, well, why is Lex the way he is? And I think it was Kevin who's writing down below who pointed out that this is explained. Throughout the movie, Lex has these daddy issues, and a lot of times it gets lost in the dialogue, but he mentions it to Senator Finch in the scene with her, talking about his father. Then he talks about his father is the way he is because he had to throw flowers at tyrants. And then at some point it's implied, or Lex actually says his father used to beat him. He says, no one saved me from daddy's fists and abominations. Mm-hmm. So he basically might see in Superman what he saw in his father, someone who's revered as someone great, but actually deep down was corrupt. And the more you think about it and you go back and rewatch the movie, the dialogue is telling a different story than just like, hey, these two guys fighting each other. And I know that's not what today's about. So that's why I don't want to get into it too much. And I just want to make a point. Kevin asked a question earlier I wanted to address. He says, what the hell else are you going to do during a pandemic? Why would people not watch a 4-hour movie? And I agree with you because they'll watch like 10 hours of The Queen's Gambit or the latest of The Crown for 5 hours straight. I watched Cobra Kai in like a day, like just blew right through it. Arib Hussein, thanks for joining us. So, Drip, you were talking about this because me and Ty were saying I totally understood what the Martha moment
love
is.
This.
Go back.
All right, that's enough. Drip's got to go.
Yeah. Nope.
If you watch the movie, there are so many clues that yes, Batman lost his parents, but he has mommy issues. There's about 2 scenes where he goes to his mother's graves. One is in a dream, and he sees blood coming out of his mother's name. The second time is when he's talking to Alfred and he's looking at his mother's grave. And I mentioned this before, the little girl in the wreckage at the beginning of BVS, Batman says, "Where's your mother?" He seems to have this kind of like guilt that his mother died. His father couldn't save his mother. He couldn't save his own mother. So it's not that it's like, oh, you people have the same name. My mom, he hears his mother's name, and it's like a PTSD trigger. Like in The Winter Soldier, you say a couple of words to trigger him. Because what happens to Batman, he hears his mom's name, and then he hears his father saying it, and he realized that, holy crap, I had become the thing I was trying to fight. Again, I know that's not what today was about, but I would love to have Drip with us on the next.
I can go all day.
Yeah, we can go all day. Yeah.
I can go all day.
Yes, Lex hates God, so that goes back to my point. He's the fighting atheist. I'm not saying all atheists are bad.
All right, look,
Kill God.
It looks like we're in this conversation, guys. It looks like that's the case. Let me ask you this.
Yeah,
right?
listen,
Ultimate Edition aside, did you get that off your first maybe 2 viewings, or do you know everything you just told me because you've seen this movie a million times, both the theatrical and Ultimate Edition?
Well, I think that's the point of film. No one's going to pick up these things the first time I saw Pulp Fiction. I didn't pick up all the hidden themes about
exactly.
You have to go back and watch it. But I'm saying that there are other
you just described to me is a hidden theme. No. Let me finish. Nothing you just described to me. Let me finish my sentence. Nothing you just described to me is a hidden theme. Everything you just described to me is the main plot of the movie. You should not require 4 or 5 viewings to just understand the main story. You should go back for hidden themes, not the main plot. And that everything you just described to me is the plot of the movie that nobody got off of the first viewing. How is that good storytelling? If you can't
talk about the plot or the hidden themes,
because the theatrical cut wasn't right. So you came out of the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut wasn't exactly Snyder's movie. Ultimate Edition was the movie that he wanted to put out, but he had to cut it down to meet a quota and meet a certain time, because that's what Warner Brothers does, right? They put their hands in everything. So they made him shorten it. Therefore, he turned his movie over and they took out scenes that they thought they could, because they thought it didn't matter, right? They thought this didn't matter, but it took away certain things. Yeah, exactly. So they thought that they were doing a service to us by shortening it and making it bearable. But in reality, they took out scenes that blew the context away, right? Now I don't know why Superman hates Batman back. Now I don't know why the desert scene was so important, right? So I agree, right? When you walked out of the theatrical cut, you probably didn't know what the fuck you just saw, right? You're like, well, that didn't all add up. The way the movie flowed was very weird. Yeah. I liked it because I'm a simpleton, right? I like superheroes.
Don't say that.
I like Batman and Superman fighting each other, right? I liked it because I knew. Yeah, let's be honest, right? That's me. But upon more viewings, when I saw the Ultimate Edition, everything changed. It was like, oh, right? Everything clicked.
So I think
and I usually am like that. I go to the theaters to be entertained.
Yeah. And let me go to your first real quick, Ty. Let me make this point. When I first saw the theatrical edition, I was not happy, but I understood the main points. I wasn't confused. I just felt like you said it didn't. Like I remember, I always say that Zach has a flow that gets disrupted. I understood the plan and the plot. And to T.Y.'s point, or Drip's point, you were saying, like, I don't get why Superman doesn't like Batman. Again, they cut those parts out. There's a lot of Clark Kent journalism work that's taken out. But Caden right now, he's posting in the comments Lex's speech.
Journalistic.
That one speech that he gives to Superman right after he throws Lois, you could do like a whole show just on that speech and everything in that speech that I didn't notice the first time I watched it. That basically goes into psychology of what's wrong with Lex Luthor. Because Zach, Drip, let's say you're right. He's a bad storyteller, but the one thing he wouldn't do is write a villain without giving him a reason, a motive. And that scene, when he sees Superman's on top of the building right before he goes and fights Batman, Lex gives his sort of it reminded me of like a really nerdy intellectual college thing. Like, I'm going to say all these big words and big themes, you big lunkhead, to make you feel stupid. And that's what smart. And there we go. So Kevin O'Dog here. Kevin O'Dog here. I swear to God, I did not realize it said dog here. I thought that was like an Irish word. O'Dog here.
Wait, does it say dog here?
Complex. Lex hates God, and Superman is a God figure, so he hates Superman. Yeah. So that's my point. That there are other themes you can go into and break it apart and analyze it. And what you were saying, Drip. And like, I don't I don't get mad at you for not liking this movie. Because, like, the truth is, there was a time when I didn't like this movie.
Kevin does.
And I'm not like, people who hate Zack Snyder are stupid. No, they have a right not to like a movie and enjoy a Marvel movie, which I also enjoy. But I do think that there's something about this movie where you can go back and break it down and find so much in each scene. Because Zack is a very deliberate filmmaker. He works really good with his cinematographers, where you can take a certain shot and expound on it, why it's filmed that way.
I agree. That's why I said his action seems by far his action is untouched.
Yeah.
But again, nothing that has been said from either one of you. Now, mind you, this is just friendly debate. Mm-hmm. Remember that. Remember everybody watching, because we do this often. So just everybody watching.
And that's the whole point of the show. Yeah.
Exactly. So my first point still stands. Even if the Ultimate Edition fixed all the storytelling problems, the delivery is still bad. And
look, I will say this about the Martha scene. I even said this when we did our breakdown. I immediately understood what happened with the Martha scene. But
so did I.
But you're right. Because if he had said "save my mother" or "save Mar," something like that.
Who calls their mother by their first name?
Well, in my mind, the idea was that if he said "save my mother," well, Bruce Wayne doesn't know who his mother is, but by saying "find him, save Martha," he was trying to say "go find Lex, save my mother" or something like that.
But the whole
and he's also dying, by the way. It's not like he's in great shape.
Exactly. He's on his deathbed and he calls mother by his first name. Also, if the whole point of it was to show Batman humanity, saying "save my mother" will serve the same purpose as saying "save Martha." Arguably, Mother holds more weight than Martha. The only reason Martha holds any weight is because
Superman doesn't know that. Superman means one thing, Batman's hearing another thing. He's not hearing "save Clark Kent's mother." He's talking. It triggered the death of his parents in his mind. So it's two different things going on there. And again, that's a scene I think we can go back and dissect in so many pieces. You're right. It does come off as clunky. I'm not going to deny it, but I understood what was happening. And the more I watch it, the more I was like, okay, Bruce throughout the movie is operating out of fear. And this goes back to his conversation with Alfred. This is not quite the Batman we know. Batman is scared. And it's at that moment where he hears his mother's name that he's essentially aligning himself with the man who killed his mother. Because all he hears are the words, "save Martha." It's like, wait, does this guy know about me and my mom? Why do you say that name? There's more going on there than what's just said. And as much as that gets crapped on, I think that's a great scene. The more, again, as time has gone on, I've come to appreciate it. And there are movies that I loved, and as time has gone on, I'm like, okay, it wasn't that great. That's a movie that I think you can go back and watch. I always find something new to pick apart. And that's the point of good cinema. That's what Martin Scorsese was saying. You want to watch a movie. I remember one of my first film projects, we had a professor. He was nasty. When he would pause the movie and say, "explain this scene." So my first presentation was on, he said, you got to pick one scene out of the movie Taxi Driver. And I realized to do one scene, I have to watch that movie 5 times. And I nailed it because I had to watch it again and again and again. And then a certain scene's meaning changes. It was a scene in a diner with Robert De Niro and I forgot the actress's name. But I had to watch that movie again and again to pick up certain things. I had to kind of relearn how to watch cinema. And what I'm saying is Zack is a type of director that I think Martin Scorsese would like. That even the guy who made the Joker movie, which I forgot what his name is. That's the type of movie where you could go back. Yes, it's a simple story. Guy loses his mind, becomes a Joker. But there are other things going on subliminally in the cinematography, in the dialogue that we kind of skip. So
I mean, most of criticisms I see and or hear about Zack Snyder are not coming from DC fans. They're coming from people who are film fans of film in general, people who look up to people like Martin Scorsese. I couldn't disagree more when you said Martin Scorsese thinks Zack Snyder's a good director.
What I'm saying is that's the type of thing he would say is, you're right, he might not like Zack Snyder, but when he said it's not real cinema, just that was the way we're talking about these scenes. I don't know if we could do that with a Marvel movie. Marvel movies aren't like that. They don't have to be like that. They're not trying to tell any bigger story. They're just telling you, here's have some great characters, some great, story, and just enjoy the ride. I'm saying that Batman vs. Superman should not be viewed as you're watching, let's say, Infinity War or Guardians of the Galaxy. You should try to watch it maybe with a different perspective. And you're right, critics did not like this movie. Rotten Tomatoes just did a show today, or last week, and I actually watched it, where they went back and they had 3 of the critics from Rotten Tomatoes. One lady who was like, no, I still think this movie sucks. And it was just like this. There were 2 guys, one guy who said, I didn't like it, but I want to hear. And then one guy was a fan, and he actually went into why it's a better movie than we thought it was. I think that, again, the movie maybe came out in a time where people were expecting very different things from comic book movies. And I say the same thing about Watchmen. When I first saw Watchmen, I wasn't a big fan. Years later, I went back and watched it with the scenes put back in, and it's actually become one of my favorite movies. I'm like, oh, he's doing so much more here, because there was
that's a fair point. I haven't looked. That's a fair point. I haven't looked back on. Timing very well might have played a big part in it. At the time, this is before Infinity War, so Marvel was still very much just Marvel, right? Like that was the formula. Infinity War and Endgame are the only 2 that have switched up that formula. Yeah. And so they're very much. So I think
Infinity War came out, I believe, a few months after. BBS came out.
2016.
Okay, you know what? I'm thinking of Justice League and Infinity War.
Yeah.
Those 2 came out. Yeah. Because a lot of people are saying that Justice League looks like it might have stolen from Infinity War. And I'm like, no. You guys are forgetting that this movie was made well before Infinity War. Because some people are saying the mother boxes are like the Infinity Stones. I'm like, no. This movie, I don't think either side is from each other. I think they just... my point is that it is a movie you can go back and dissect beyond just the Jesus.
Very much so. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. So we also got a new picture. Did you see the pictures?
Yes, the Atlantean and Steppenwolf one.
Yeah. Do you want to?
I saw that.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yep. And you want me to find? Let me find that photo real quick. Let me find that photo quick. But Ty, maybe I think.
So let's take a look at the photo. I'll describe it. So it looks like. Real quick. It looks. It's very okay. So it's first off, it's not a clear picture. It was a picture of the mixing, like the mixing station, and there was a caption, and it said that this sounds amazing or something like that. Sounds whatever. But on this telescreen, on the screen of the mixing boards and the mixing computers, there's a picture of it's Steppenwolf and an Atlantean, but it kind of looks like they're on land. So I don't know. Maybe my eyes were deceiving me, but there's if we could take some context out of it, maybe take a few guesses at where it is in the film or what is going on. I wouldn't mind, looking into it. And then I do have a surprise for everybody. And everybody that's watching, I have a surprise for our month of February. With some of the guests that we're going to be bringing in and stuff like that. We'll end the day with that and a little talk about the inauguration. I know, we're here for pop culture, and maybe we don't want to talk about the inauguration together, but it is a part of life, and especially with the Capitol riots, I would like to talk about it.
All right.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to open. There we go. Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited for February.
Can you guys see it?
They cannot see it yet because I haven't added it.
Okay.
All right. Can you hold on a little? God.
Yeah, sure. I'm just making sure you
All
guys.
right, let me get the banner. Let me get the banner out of there. I mean, the overlay. All right, so there's the picture. So, as you can see in the middle, not the bottom computers, but the Jack. Put your mouse on the where the image is.
Yeah.
So there you can see that Steppenwolf has just taken down an Atlantean. He's kneeling down. Can you see?
Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit.
I'm looking at a picture of a room with a bunch of laptops in it.
Yeah. So do you see this image? I'm zoomed in
there
now.
There we go.
It's not great. Oh, that's too much. But
yeah, it does look like
move
it's on
over.
land.
Move over.
See if I can.
Now
Is
this
that how
doesn't
the
look like
image
it's
was
underwater.
Yeah, that looks like it's on land.
This is how it was shared.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you look at
So
my
that's
mouse,
definitely
there's
on
another
land,
dead Atlantean right here. There's another dead Atlantean right there. You can kind of see it right there.
And this, so Steppenwolf here looks very, very, very different. So this is what I wanted to talk about. I don't really care about the Atlanteans or where it is, but Steppenwolf's design here looks so much better than the form that we got before. As you can tell, this is a very blurry picture, but you can tell that when.
What is real quick? What is I can't tell. Is he like kneeling? Okay, so I can see the Atlantean body, and he's kneeling, right? And so that's his arm, like over the Atlantean's head,
and he's got his helmet, I think.
And it looks like he's holding something. Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if I'm looking at it correctly, the armor does look dope.
Yeah, it looks very detailed. I mean, clearly this picture doesn't do justice. It doesn't do its justice. But when we get to see that in 4K or Ultra HD, that armor does look like it's detailed. It looks like they did a good job with the lighting on it, so that the lighting, like when it hits the armor, it bounces off a little bit. There's a lot of crooks and niches and divots in his armor, and they look really good. I'm excited. So this definitely looks like it's taking place on land, which in the theatrical cut, nothing like that happened. So where do you guys think this is taking place? Let us know in the comments as well where you guys think is going on here. Let's dissect it a little bit because we have nothing better to do.
Yeah. So listen, all we saw in the movie is Aquaman goes to where the mother box is. Steppenwolf comes. They have a 3-second fight, grabs it, and leaves. I'm going to go ahead and assume that there was a much bigger battle because a lot of people have noticed in the Justice League version, in the background, you can see dead floating parademons.
No,
well, there were no parademons.
Absolutely not, Kevin.
So I have a feeling that he might have thrown some of them out on land and kept fighting them somewhere. It was it wasn't just that he came, the boom tube, grabbed it, and left. There was a much larger sequence. Because if you look at what the Amazonians did, they sent a huge army to stop him. That the Atlanteans would probably do something similar.
Oh,
and we know
Jesus.
that Defoe is supposed to be in it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Caden sent me a picture on Twitter. Someone went in and like detail painted this.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yo, the internet gets on that real quick.
Do you want me to stop this?
No, I'm going to send it to you, and I want you to share it.
Okay.
But, wow, this is really, really good. Whoever did that, props to you.
Now, if I switch tabs, are you guys able to see?
Yes, we can see whatever you do.
Okay, all right, cool. And are you sending it to me on Outlook? Because I have Outlook open.
Yep.
But in the meanwhile, going back to what you're saying, I think that the scene of him taking the mother boxes was probably a lot more bigger, much more grander. Zack doesn't do quick 3-minute action scenes. It's probably a sequence where he probably... Now, here's an interesting thing I heard about this. They, back when they were filming this, they took a picture of the Atlanteans, like the stuntmen and everyone.
I just sent that to you.
Someone tweeted at one of the stuntmen and said, hey, Okay, I see it here. Let me see.
But okay, finish your sentence though.
Okay, yeah, this is this one. Yeah, the scene. This is exactly what I was about to talk. This is the Twitter photo.
I know.
The scene didn't make the final cut. Okay, it wasn't this, but it was in the comments. Apparently, it was too violent. Warner Brothers thought it was too violent because he was like Steppenwolf wasn't just killing people; he was like ripping them apart and shit. That was actually pretty violent. Warner Brothers was like, no, we're not going to do that, you know. And so,
imagine that movie. Steppenwolf just shows up and starts ripping limbs off of children.
Yeah.
And
oh, you said.
Let me know when you have it.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. I see it now.
When you have,
and let me
know when you have it up, and I'll add it again. But yeah, I'd definitely like to. I'd like to hear what you guys think. No, I told you to let me know when you had it.
Okay, I have it now.
I don't see it.
Same image. Anyways,
you have to take that image down. Like you have to get rid of the image that you showed us first, and then show the other ones. So I would X out of everything and then bring that up.
I think I'm gonna have to
X out of everything.
Yeah, and then I'll see it.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. Just send it to me. But anyone in the comments, let us know. What your favorite part, what you're most excited about the Snyder Cut, and let us know if you want to see the Justice League projects continue on HBOmax or in theatrical form. This picture is whoever did this.
Can you zoom
100% credit to you. Yeah, 100% credit to you. You did absolutely fantastic.
I don't think I can zoom in.
Recreating this. Like, that is so good. When I was just looking at it on my phone, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, this is something they probably took. Well. I mean, there's a lot more detail in that. I can see that from here.
Yeah, I think he's got his helmet in his left hand.
But we need to. Yeah. Maybe you take your mouse pad and do like the zoom thing on the pad. That's how I can zoom in.
Oh. Huh. Good call.
Yeah, it's not letting me do that.
AKA text Abby.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to see maybe maybe the Spiky Boy thing is like a end kind of armor, like that's his final anime boss armor.
Okay. You know? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask everybody. So do you think that Steppenwolf's armor is more fluid? So do you think it changes towards what the Spiky Boy one? So say he's fighting you, right? And you needs to change his armor to fight you, right? Or to take you on. His armor knows, like my thing is, I think his armor is like smart, like AI, right? Yeah, so it'll change towards what he's fighting. So that Spiky Boy image, right? Yeah, I think his armor, because if you look at it, there's so much detail and it's like rivety, right? Mm-hmm. So it looks like it can change its shape based on what he needs done.
We saw that if you pay attention in the Hallelujah trailer when he lands in Amazon, that shot of him landing on Themyscira, and as he stands up, you actually see the spikes changing and pointing upward in the trailer.
Right.
So I think you're right. I think it does.
I think it's fair to assume simply because that's how the mother boxes work and all the metal around them float like that and whatnot. And that's Steppenwolf's whole thing, right? He serves Darkseid in the mother boxes. So I think it's fair to assume that his armor is made out of the same kind of metal.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's really cool, actually.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's definitely... Yeah, like Mercury. I like, again, right? We're all fans. Yeah, we're all fans of big monster-y types, right? Like punching each other and ripping each other apart. Like, it looks like Steppenwolf, rather than being like the humanoid thing that he was in theatrical cut, where it's just like kind of Darkseid's like
also in the comics.
Right, this is the first. Yeah, yes. he just sends him in first, right, to do the dirty work and try to get it done. But this time, it looks like Steppenwolf's a real threat. Like, this dude is not to be trifled with.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking not too long ago? I think Marvel and DC got it backwards in the sense of it makes more sense to me for Thanos to just show up and try on his own and fail the first time and like have to go back and regroup than it does for Darkseid, right? Like, I think Marvel's approach to Thanos, like, oh, he sends Loki first, and then he plays in the background for a while and then decides he needs to go do it himself. I think that's more true. I think that makes more sense for Darkseid than it does for Thanos. I see Thanos as a character more likely to just show up and act like he's the biggest badass to ever touch the planet. I can do this on my own. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, but I think that's kind of what they're doing. Like, Steppenwolf goes first because Darkseid's in this movie, but he's not the main villain. I think you're going to see glimpses of him.
Yeah, but that's like the past scene. He fails, and then, all right, I'm going to send Steppenwolf instead, and then I'll come back later and try again.
Yeah. Because he doesn't see the Justice League as a threat. It's like, whatever, I can take over this planet. They have what's that line? There are no more Kryptonians, no more Amazonians. This world is
no Kryptonians.
Yeah, you go.
No lantern.
No lantern.
Fall.
It seems kind of backwards to me. I think it the opposite serves.
Why?
The character.
Why? I thought. What do you mean? What do you mean? DC just did exactly what you said.
What do you mean?
Darkseid comes first. Fails, sends Steppenwolf after, and then he comes backwards after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it should be backwards. I think that's more of a move for Thanos as a character than it is for Darkseid. I see Darkseid like staying back and planning more thoroughly, and then pulling a like an Infinity War kind of move, than just going in headstrong right off the rip. Oh, I can handle this by myself. You see where am I not explaining that correctly? I think I'm explaining that wrong.
Maybe, because I thought, I was like, wait, so DC did exactly what you wanted, right? He sent the bad first, right? He comes in, he's like, I got this. I got this. Comes in, just gets his ass whooped.
Yeah, exactly. So just think of what happened.
So Kevin is saying that, the stunt said the scene was cut because it was
we know Desad's saying that.
And Steppenwolf's armor might be able to fully retract, and we see him bare, not necessarily naked, but like maybe the armor is, because a lot of people wonder, is the armor a part of him, or is it like a secondary thing he wears on top?
He's rocking nanotech.
Yeah, nanotech type thing, kind of like Iron Man's suit, like it just takes over. So
yeah, it's like advanced armor, and that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's
I just played those twice.
Because it looks like it's grass. Like you could say, oh, it's just a green
I'm excited.
And they're going to add the water later. No, that looks like grass. I think there's a much bigger fight.
Why are these?
Yeah.
Why are these comments like playing over and over again?
I don't know.
No, repeat.
So weird.
I don't know. You probably press shuffle.
But guys, I have some. I just want to let some viewers know what's going on for the month of February. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, obviously, and make sure that you ring the notification bell. It's very handy. It lets you know when we'll be live streaming, when new episodes are available. We do have a style for our YouTube podcast episodes. So if you go into our channel now, you'll find that this week's episode, there's a full version, and then broke it up into segments. That way, you don't necessarily have to watch the whole show. You can pick and choose what portion of the show you'd like to listen to, or if you'd like to listen and watch the whole thing, you can do that as well. It's up to you. We did it for your convenience, and your, that time is the thing. So everyone will be able to go in and get what they want. Now, this week's episode wasn't necessarily a good example of being able to split it up. But when we do the episode, like Justice and I, when we sit here, we go through, we do like a banter, breaking news, then we get into like different segments, right? So when we do our show like that, this is going to be very helpful on YouTube. but you can go to the audio platforms and then you can just listen to it all in one shot. So we retooled and we're going to be restructuring the Pop Culture Corner.
Yeah, in other words, it's all for your, it's for your preference, it's for your viewership, it's for you. This doesn't help us. If anything, it makes more work for us.
It does. It was more work, in fact. And then we have 1 month left. So we're going to do this through all of February, and then we're going to end it on March 1st. But, we are raising money. Mother's breast cancer fundraiser. So if you do have an extra couple bucks here or there, it helps out a lot. The link will be in the description after. I didn't put it in now, but I'll put it in. It'll be there. She's got, stage 4 cancer. So we're just trying to make money to help her out and take her mind off of all the bills and all the stuff like that. So, we appreciate it. You can also become a supporter of the podcast by an Anchor link, and you can do small monthly donations, right? So just 99 cents a month. That doesn't hurt. And you can support the show's success.
3 African villages with that money.
3. 4, but not 8, but 3. You can also do $4.99 and $9.99. Shout out to Caden. Caden is in our exclusive. He's the first member of our exclusive.
What?
I keep saying, I just coughed. He's the first member of our exclusive Pop Culture Corner group. He'll receive a special t-shirt designed just for him. And he'll get content curated for him. So if you want to join that group, just be a supporter of the podcast. Guys, inauguration tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
I didn't even know it was happening.
Do you think we're gonna get it? Do you think we're gonna get another riot?
Nah.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. No. No. It depends. It depends on how big the crowd is. It depends. Like if it's Obama big, then yeah, shit could pop off without anybody noticing, right? But if it's relatively small, then like local police and security can handle it. But if it's a ginormous crowd, then
troops
shit could get ugly.
DC right now. That's the most troops they've had
right
since the Civil War.
It was like
right.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. That's insane.
And I don't think there's going to be a big crowd. Also, like if this was Trump's reinauguration, Trump would be like, "Let everyone in. I don't care." But I think Biden's really trying to push that we're going to be socially distanced. So I think it's going to be very smaller because of the pandemic. There's no doubt there might not even be a huge crowd.
Yeah, there might not. I didn't even take that into consideration. There might not even be anybody there because of that. Because that's a corona.
There's going to be plenty of people there. Dog,
but will it be
they
as
broke into the Capitol with ease. With ease.
Yeah, they did. But that was in the name of Trump. Nobody cares about Biden. Even people who voted Biden only voted for Biden because Sanders
you're
dropped
not
out.
understanding. No, you're not understanding.
No, I'm not.
I think Trump is going to, Trump wants followers to go protest Biden's inauguration. Show up, make a ruckus. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to happen. And that's scary.
I remember when Bush had his inauguration in 2000 following the Florida debacle, there was a lot of protesters at the Bush
inauguration. Oh, my God, that was terrible.
Yeah. I think now
I've been watching documentaries left and right.
I don't think it.
I've been watching documentaries. This is why I brought this up.
I don't think it will be that bad because Trump got kicked off of Twitter, so he can't really even talk to them anymore. So the only people who do show up, and he got kicked out of damn near every social media platform, not just Twitter. So he doesn't really have a way to communicate. So the only people who are going to show up are the people who are hyping themselves up in their own heads. Yeah, he wants me to do this. Let's go. We're going to do this, right? And then he tells his friends. That's like 5 people. You see what I'm saying? If Trump was still on Twitter crying and complaining about losing, then yeah, they'd be getting all riled up. Let's go. But only the ones who think of that themselves are going to show up. And there's 26,000 troops down there right now because of people like that. So the second they see things starting to get a little wild between them, they're going to step in and, probably shut that down.
Yeah.
Like it's funny.
Again, I've been
know what's happening tomorrow. I don't think people are really that in tuned about like Biden coming in. It's just like, all right, next guy's coming in,
Yeah.
Because a lot of people always said to me, like, I can't believe that many people voted for Biden. I said, I don't think they voted for Biden. I think they voted against Trump.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
No, are you telling me more people voted for Biden than Obama? I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more people voted against Trump. So, because even when Biden had rallies, they were pretty small. No one was coming out in large numbers to see him. But it's again, it was a vote against Trump more so than a vote for Biden.
Exactly.
So it's not going to have the excitement that Trump did or even Obama did when Obama had his inauguration. That was massive. But no, I don't think you're going to see that tomorrow. I think it would be kind of sad if more Trump supporters came out than Biden supporters.
I wouldn't be surprised from all the liberal kids that I hear talking and like I see on TV and everything. They wanted Bernie. Nobody wanted Biden. But I think you're exactly right, Jack. I think it was just I don't want Trump again, so let's vote for Biden. Hey, he was Obama's vice president. Good enough, I guess. That type of deal.
Everyone always wants Bernie, but the Democratic Party doesn't want Bernie, so they
exactly.
They go behind his back.
They could have voted for Bernie the second time. They didn't. The Democratic base.
In all the Hillary emails, they're conspiring against Bernie.
Yeah.
Right? To get Hillary in there, to get Biden in there. So they don't want Bernie as much as like the Democratic Party looks at Bernie like they look at Trump, right? They don't want him in there because he's too like Bernie wants to change the world, right? Bernie wants to change everything.
Yeah, Bernie's on some shit.
Yeah. Bernie's a little bit more of a socialist, I think, than a Democrat.
He says he is. He says he caucuses with the Democrats, but he technically isn't a Democrat, like officially of the party.
Yeah.
But he caucuses with them.
But
caucuses.
Guys, I got some I got not a surprise, but I do want to go through our guest list for February. So
let's do it.
History month, baby.
Yeah. So first off, right off the rip, we have a musician coming in. The first week, I'm not allowed to say who it is yet, but there is a musician coming in the 1st of February. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something we've never done before. He's going to join the podcast in studio, not online. So he'll be right here with us, with Justice and I in the studio. So that'll be our first time ever doing it. I'm actually going to have him get tested before he comes here. So everyone is safe. Everyone is secure. And it should be really fun. After that week, we kind of heat up. So after that week, we have Sean O'Connell coming back, and we have Lightcast in the same week. So Wednesday, Lightcast. Saturday, Sean O'Connell. The next week, we have Garza coming in, and we have Ping Pong Fixes Wong coming in.
Oh, I love that guy.
So, yep. So some we've never had Chris on. He's from Hawaii. He's very prominent in the YouTube side of things for DC. So he should be really fun to talk to. And this is the first time we've ever had him on. So it should be really fun. The next after that, we're looking. Jack is in the process. I guess we're in the works for that Warner Brothers employee. Again, we can't say who it is because we're still working it out. But he has to. I just read the email between you and him, so he has to send it up the ladder and see if he can come in and do. But the Warner Brothers employee and then Film Junkie, I guess they're in the same week. So the whole month of February. Yep, the whole month of February.
These are all the people that I watch, by the way.
Yeah, so the whole month of February pretty much it's a journalism kind of. So we're going to be talking to people. We're going to be getting their insights. We're going to be getting to talk to them about everything that's going on in pop culture, and just have fun. right? And the reason we're focusing on the journalistic side of things is because there's been a lot of wrongdoing in the journalism side, right? There's been false reports here, false reports there, false reports here. So in February, we're going to get pumped up for the Snyder Cut, and we're going to be talking DC and everything in Marvel, everything on the board, not just DC, but we're up and talking to some fun people. And then we have Garza coming in to do the BVS breakdown. So
that's going to be fun.
And then I'm talking to one other person to round out the month, and that'll be a surprise if it happens. So stay tuned for the couple of people that we can't say who are right now, and stay tuned for the main event.
If it's not Walter Hamada, is it?
No, I would never bring that fool on this
he's
show.
Asking the comments. It's not Walter Hamada.
Yeah. I can say that. It's not Walter Hamada, but it's the main attraction, like the main person that I'm trying to get. You guys will be surprised. So very much stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for everything. Take us out though. Let us know where they can find us. All that good stuff.
That's me.
Drip, you want to do the honors or should I?
Come on.
You have more personality.
Thank you for watching, people. You already know the deal. We appreciate you. We love you. Everything we do, everything we say, every way we move, every way I dress, when I brush my teeth, when I wipe my ass, it is all for you and for the culture. Thank you so much for joining us. You can find us on damn near every platform there is. Spotify, Apple, Google, WhatsApp. I was going to say your mother's cell phone, but that's for another time. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. You can follow me, my personal account at Twitter at Drip Big. Channel's Twitter page, Pop Culture 2020, right? Thank you
Drip
again
Big.
For watching. At Drip Big, baby. Thank you so much. We do it for you. And we do it for the culture. Holla.
Everyone, this is Chad Michael Collins, aka Echo 31. And on behalf of the Pop Culture Corner, I just want to say we do it for you, we do it for the culture.
Damn it. That didn't work.
Did it play?
Nope.